Everyone. So glad to have you here with us today. My name is Svetlana, LCA Invest, and today we are going to talk about something that's been getting a lot of attention recently, Georgia as a business destination. You may have heard about 1% tax regime or 0% tax on reinvested profits in Georgia and the special IT zones. But what's the reality behind these headlines? Is Georgia truly the best tax deal in Europe? Well, that's exactly what we're here today to find out. And we have a very special guest with us today, Georgi, CEO of Register in Georgia, a local law and consulting firm that helps foreign entrepreneurs to register and run their businesses in Georgia every single day. So, Georgi, welcome to our webinar, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Svetlana. Pleasure to meet you, and would be my pleasure to answer the questions.
Great. So let's dive right in. First, let's start with the big picture. Could you please tell us what are the key advantages of Georgia as a business jurisdiction, and why do entrepreneurs choose it over other popular destinations?
Yeah, amazing. Yes, apart from being the headliner of different top performing KPIs, business KPIs like doing in business, Georgia, doing in business, registering the business, ease of the registering business, etc. Georgia provides some very tangible tax benefits to different level of businesses and entrepreneurs, as well as combined with the quite stable and trustworthy onshore statuses. So it's not an offshore where sometimes the taxation is even lower than Georgia, but they have significant downside of being the offshore. So to summarize, Georgia having quite stable and trustworthy status of being an onshore company and the low taxes makes this destination one of the best jurisdictions for various type of entrepreneurs, starting from small freelancers, then elite digital nomads, and ending up with large IT companies or corporations.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Georgi. And now let's move on to the practical side. So what legal forms can a foreigner register in Georgia, and which ones can actually, which are the ones that are most commonly used? And maybe you can elaborate on the tax differences between them.
Absolutely. So let's start with the smallest and most affordable option, which is sole proprietorship, internationally known as sole proprietorship business type. In Georgia, it's called individual entrepreneur. It's also widely openly available, this abbreviation. So what this regime offers to international freelancers, digital nomads, and the like? Well, first of all, it's 1% tax on gross income tax. And when I say gross, it's on the revenue. Doesn't matter about the profit and loss. This taxation works on the gross revenue you receive, and it's only 1%. And apart from that, you are free to cash out and use whatever you may like this income. So as you could notice it, this is special regime, which is operated on a small business status, which is awarded by the tax office of Georgia. and we have a very high demand on that regime. This is 1%. The nuances here is that the ceiling of this annual revenue for this percent tax is under 200K, to be more precise, 158K dollars per annum. Apart from that, you would pay if you have the revenue more than 155K dollars per annum, you pay 3% if you exceed this threshold, which is also not very high, 3%, but still it's not 1%. The second most widespread is, of course, LLC or LTD, which is the limited liability company, which is the most spread company legal body type in the world. Okay? So here we also have quite appealing and quite distinctive tax regimes. And I will start with the most important one, which is the so-called Estonian tax regime. What it means, for those who are not aware, is that you pay literally 0% on the profit if you don't distribute dividends. What it means. So imagine you have profit in this month, but you haven't distributed dividends. In this case, you pay zero profit tax. It also means that if you reinvest in the company, for instance, you bought some general assets or some movable goods or cars, etc. But this is under your company name and stays on the company name. As soon as it stays on the company name, it also is being considered as reinvestment in your own company, and you also pay zero profit tax. So this is very important and distinctive difference between the major jurisdictions on and onshore frames. Apart from that, we have 20% income tax for the salary. Corporate income tax is 15%, 5% is on dividends. While we have 1% profit, the property tax, and 18% VAT, which applies only to some goods and services. It doesn't spread on many activities when, for instance, you trade goods or services abroad. So this is the two most common widely spread types. Then we of course have different setups which is used for instance, in investment funds like general partner, minor partner type of companies. When we have joint stock companies, when there's a publicly listed companies or publicly traded companies, and the rest. So that's the main types of companies.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Just one question I would like to clarify. You mentioned that for sole proprietorship, the tax is 1% until a particular limit. Yes, and afterwards it's 3%. So what happens next year? Can you return to 1% again, or it will be 3% from onwards?
Yeah, very good question. Thanks for clarification. So if you do revenue for more than 2 years, consecutive years, more than 500K lari, which is roughly 150,000 US dollars, you would actually lose this small business status, and you either have to move to like normal regime, which is you could stay for the legal status as being the sole proprietorship, but then pay from the difference between your revenue and expenses, which is the traditional profit tax, and pay 20% for out of that. Yeah. Or you move and register the LLC. Some people who exceed for more than 2 consecutive years this threshold of half a million lari. They some people stay on the still on individual entrepreneur and pay 15% income to 20% income tax. Some people move to the LLC type of formation. It's solely depending on the business model, clients, and clients' geographies.
Okay, now it's clear. Thank you very much. Georgia is also known for its IT-friendly policies. So let's talk about that a little bit. What are the preferential regimes for IT companies? And again, how do they differ in terms of benefits and qualifying criteria?
Yes, exactly. It's a great question, and thanks for that. So yeah, as you correctly mentioned, we have various types of different preferential special regimes which allow startups and new companies to come in Georgia and register in Georgia. By the way, the company name of our company name is also registered in Georgia. So, and here we have numerous types of preferential regimes. So, apart from regular company, mainland company, we have free zone companies. We have four different free zones in Georgia, which have absolutely zero taxes on all widespread taxes, whether it be personal income tax, dividend tax, corporate profit tax, VAT, property tax, import tax, etc. The only tax would be if you hire the Georgian individual, you still have to pay the personal income tax and the pension social tax, which is 4% for Georgians and not paid for the foreign residents. Free zone status is only eligible to work. The only limitation is that the free zone status works only for importing goods, exporting services, excuse me, exporting services. You can't trade within the mainland companies, or if you can, you will still then be paying the normal taxes. So it's solely constructed to trade services abroad, to export the services. Then we have three other types, which is virtual zone member status. We have international company status. And we recently have added innovative company status, which all of them provide certain preferences depending on their status. So let's start with the virtual zone membership. Here, the benefit of virtual zone member is that you have zero CPT, corporate profit tax, from the foreign income. It's important to stress it's a foreign income. So if you trade goods, if you sell services for within domestic companies, it's still 15%. But if you export services, it's 0%. And 0% VAT again when you export services. So quite appealing status. We, by the way, have virtual zone members. One of our companies, which we manage, have the virtual zone membership, and a lot of our clients also have this and benefit from that. Then there is international company status, which is quite hard to obtain because as the name dictates, it's really it should be really international company, and you have real substance. So here the benefits is following. So unlike with the regular company, which pays 20% income tax, here you pay 5% income tax. The dividend tax you pay 0 versus 5% on the regular company. And you have two other benefits. You pay 0 VAT and 0 property tax here, being international companies. Then there is an innovative company status, which the government of Georgia just recently introduced. So here, the main benefit is that you pay zero, also you pay 0% income tax of being the innovative company status. This is the 10-year program, which was eligible by the initiative of the government of Georgia to, let's say, stimulate the companies who want to register to come to Georgia, registers and grow their startups. By the way, one of our own company, fintech companies, are also innovative company status holder. And besides that, we would be very happy to assist to other companies to obtain those statuses. So to summarize, apart from regular company status, we have virtual zone membership status, we have international company, and we have free zones, of course, and innovative company status. So it's 4 preferential IT-specific companies statuses which businesses might use.
Thank you, Georgi, for such a detailed explanation of every status and regime. So now let's address something that confuses many people. Let's say someone registers a company in Georgia in any of the forms that you already spoke about. Does that make them a Georgian tax resident automatically?
Yeah, great question. And the short answer is no, because the tax residency is being applied either being lived on the territory of Georgia for 183 consecutive days within a single calendar year, or obtaining it by a fast track, so-called H&WI program, which is intended for, as the name suggests, high net worth individuals. So in order to obtain the Georgian tax residency and use the benefits of Georgian tax residency, there's only 2 ways: living here for half a year, roughly, in Georgia, or applying for the H&WI tax residency status. But terms and conditions apply. You have to meet these conditions. You have to meet the status of wealthy individual, and you have to show some substance in Georgia. If this is the case, then our company, we would be happy to assist with the people to obtain this tax residency, I would say, in a month versus waiting for 6 months. So many people approach us because they save huge amount of taxes, not paying in one jurisdiction, but paying it in another, because they simply save 5 months. And when we speak about large amounts of taxes, it's quite a large amount of savings to our clients.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as far as I know, Georgia has double taxation treaties with 58 countries. Could you please give more details? Which major countries are covered, which are not covered, and how does this affect business owners who live elsewhere?
Yes. So as you mentioned, we have 58 countries, uh, and majority of European countries are there. Uh, the let's say you said which are not there, uh,
Which are the ones that are not covered? Mhm.
no, not covered. Yes. So the large countries I could imagine and I can remember of are not. US is not there. Russia is not there, and China is not there. Apart from that, I would say all, if not almost all European countries is that here, so we are covered. Almost all neighboring countries, starting from Central Asia and ending with Israel or Iran or Turkey, is here, and also the UAE is here. So, uh, and yeah, even so, like not very close neighbors of Georgia, like Singapore is here, and Malta, and uh, such countries. We do have a double tax avoidance treaty with China, although uh, it depends case by case on the type of taxes we are free to pay within those two countries, because as you know there are many type of taxes: a profit tax, income tax, property tax, VAT, dividends, loyalties, etc. And depending on the setup with each country, terms vary. The same here is in China. Same here is true with any other country. So with one country, it might be full and comprehensive ease of taxes. With some, it can be partial. So you should always consult with the certified tax advisor or approach us, and we and consult our tax advisor in order to navigate the let's say nuances and difficulties of double tax avoidance.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's stay a little bit on the topic of living in Georgia. You mentioned it briefly regarding the residence permits, but can you elaborate on this topic a little bit? How does it look in practice, and are there real paths to citizenship in Georgia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would start from the end. No, citizenship in Georgia can't be obtained fast. You have to live here 10 years and have the residence permit in order to qualify to get obtain their citizenship. But for that, you have to, of course, undergo this language test and some tests. And if you pass successfully, you would apply for the citizenship. But apart from that, uh, the path to the to the citizenship via resident permit is impossible to obtain the residence citizenship. Now about the resident permit itself. So here we have 6 or 7 different types of obtaining the residence permit, which is educational, work, reunification, special, property investment, etc. types. So, but most common are the work residence permit, educational residence permit, then the reunification of the family, as well as the investment residence permit and the profit tax. So to to briefly, I don't want to dig down very deeply about this residence permit, but if you want to qualify for the residence permit, use the only thing you have to do is you have to have 50,000 annual income, 50,000 lari, which is roughly 19,000 uh, US dollar, maybe even less, like 17K. Yeah, and then everything else is the technical. You have to collect documents, apply, and prove that you have some certain income and pay taxes, etc. So here we, of course, also be happy to assist with obtaining the residence permit. If you have any specific questions on topic of the residence permit, would be happy to answer more. But I don't want to overwhelm you and your audience with too much details.
Of course, I quite understand that. I think that most of people who are watching us at the moment, they would be interested in getting residence permits on the basis of investment. So maybe you can just briefly cover that part. How much does a foreign investor need to invest in property to get residency permits?
Yes, so the investment residence permit is, we have two types of residence permits, which is one is residence permit via property acquiring and investment residence permit. So for that, if you are owner of the Georgian property, you are eligible to apply for the residence permit. And the minimum ticket size for obtaining this residence permit is 150,000 US dollars. So if you own the property worth $150,000, you are eligible. That's the major requirement. Now moving to the investment residence permit. Here it is $300,000. So government of Georgia is raising this bar soon, but nowadays it's $300,000. So if you need a residence permit for the as an investment, you have to have 300,000 worth of wealth. And when I say worth of wealth, it doesn't necessarily mean property. It can be your flat, it can be the investment land, or it can be digital assets, crypto assets, virtual assets, or virtual currency. It can be stocks, bonds, whatever, which is provable, and or cash in a bank account. So if you have this, you are eligible to obtain this investment status. And unlike with the work permits and educational residence permit, it is being issued for 10 years, 5 or 10 years, depending on the volume of the investment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Georgi. And you can assist in any types of residence permit, as far as I understood.
Yes,
right?
Correct. We serve all 6 residence permit types, out of which the most, let's say, popular is work type of residence permit, property, and investment. True.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's switch back to the topic of setting up the company and talk about some technical details. The question that we get from our subscribers is this one. Can the foreigner register a company fully remotely, or does he need to come over to Georgia and do everything himself? So if there is a power of attorney required, again, what is the form of this power of attorney? Could you please give us some more details?
Exactly. Very good question. Thanks for that. Yes, the one of the beauties of Georgia that you can benefit from Georgia never visiting it at all. And we, of course, would be more than happy to receive any guests because in our culture, we say that guest is sent by God. We literally have this saying. But if guest lives very far and he is very busy, he is free to register a company and not only register business, but doing business fully remotely 100%. And when I say doing business, it's not only opening the company because only opening the company does not provide you the business operations because you have to have in different jurisdictions like Paraguay, Armenia, or Asian countries. Um, they have different preferential regimes like Georgia have, but I don't know any jurisdictions like Georgia, including Paraguay or Armenia, neighboring country, which can register fully remotely companies. Because in one way or another, you should at least once visit the country to open, for instance, the bank account, or approve something, or obtain some paper. So here, Georgia offers fully remote registering the company, registering the tax authorities, opening the bank account, obtaining the legal address, and full legal setup. So, as you correctly mentioned, we send the power of attorneys. The client goes to its city or country of residence, prepares power of attorney, sends us to the docs over DHL or TNT or FedEx or whatever, and then we do the rest. That's how we do it full.
And what is the typical time frame? Let's say you receive the power of attorney, and then how much time does it take to register the company? Georgi,
Svetlana?
can you hear me?
Yes,
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 can
I
you
can
hear
hear.
me? Yes, I'm not sure. There was some problem with connection. My question is, what is the typical time frame? Let's say you receive this power of attorney, okay, and afterwards, how much time does it take to register the company, open the bank account? So the full process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So receiving after receiving the documents, the registering of the company takes, if it's a fast track, less than a day. So if we have the full set documents, we can open very fast, like even half a day. But some amount of time takes the translation, notarization, and this is like 2 or 3 days. Then registering the company, as I told you, and the bank account opening. So if we summarize the maximum amount of time, the average time of opening the whole setup is 7 days after we receive, 7 to 14 days, uh, depending on the amount of documents being sent, being translated, the language of the translation, etc. And also depends if it's the sole proprietorship, the remote opening of sole proprietorship type, or it's a LLC. For LLC, it's a bit longer because the documents are different. There are much more documents to be translated and submitted. and the bank account opening normally for the LLC takes a bit more time. So to summarize, it's like 7 to 10 days for sole proprietorship and to 14 to 20 days for LLC formation fully remotely.
Mhm. Still, even if it's 20 days, it's very short time. I cannot think of any other country where you can do this process completely remotely in such a short time period. So yeah,
True,
absolutely amazing.
true. It can
Okay.
be even faster if
Mhm.
the LLC participants is one or less than two. So, and it can be even faster. But yes, I totally agree. It's quite fast.
Mhm. And let's talk about banking and opening a bank account. What documents do banks typically request?
Okay, if we talk about the sole proprietorship, uh, normally they don't even request any documents. Sometimes the opening bank account goes very easy or easy. So they only request their passport, the registration document of being the sole proprietorship, and that's it. So many clients are not requested on any documents, but because there are as many policies of reviewing the documents as many banks are in the world, they have all different policies, and in some banks might also request some proofs of activities, like they might ask for some previous banking extracts when the turnover is shown. Some might even request your resume, your curriculum vitae. Some might request even proof of funds. When we talk about this, about the citizens from certain countries, Asian countries, uh, this this is for the sole proprietorship type. For the LLC, yes, they might request more information, the substance of client. They need to know how you are connected with Georgia, where your clients reside, etc., etc. How do you generate money? How you attract clients, etc. There are long list of questions as any foreign banks have, but we of course help navigating these questions and mm, structuring the correct answers and policy, how clients should answer and how it should streamline the responses so that banks treat them correctly and in a fast manner.
Well, some people say that Georgian banks have become much stricter with non-residents in the last couple of years. Is that true? And what can actually trigger a freeze or account closure? Can you share with us?
Yes, well, actually, I would say the opposite. The Georgian banks become more friendlier to the non-residents than they were, let's say, 2002, 2002, 2002, 2022, 2023. So it's 2026, and I can assure you that the people the banks who were refusing, strictly refusing the non-residents are now opening the bank accounts. Those who were opening the bank accounts with the strict IML and KYC monitoring, they have eased this procedure. Some even established fully remote onboarding. Uh, and to summarize, it's the opposite. The Georgian banks become more friendly. Of course, there are cases that there are still refusals. Of course, there are cases that uh, don't banks prolong and client have awkward situation because they can't run the business. But here we step in because we have a lot of banks, partners, insiders in these banks with whom we connect on a daily basis. We help clients to navigate the different difficulties of questionnaire. And at the end of the day, even if all Georgian banks would refuse the client, which is nonsense. I haven't had such situation. Even if Georgian banks refuse, there's always other options, other international banks or fintechs where you can open the bank account uh, being the Georgian company, like Wise, Revolut, and other rivals. So Georgian uh, tax code or national bank does not restrict any Georgian business of having the foreign bank account or only foreign bank account without having the Georgian bank account. Although I of course recommend having the Georgian local bank account because it is very practical and needed in a practice.
Okay, Georgi, that's good to know that it's very easy to open a bank account in Georgia, and if there are some issues, then your company can assist and maybe offer some solutions, as you explained. So far we've talked about advantages of doing business in Georgia, opening a company in Georgia, and we can see that these advantages are numerous and they cannot be ignored. But what would you say are the biggest risks or downsides that foreign entrepreneurs don't see before registering? Is there something that they take into consideration before even going to Georgia?
Yes. So firstly, I would warn everyone that Georgia is not some very risky jurisdiction that something can go very, very wrong. So some underwater stones can explode or something. The only thing you should be aware of and be cautious about is that you have to, before registering any business and before starting the operation, you should have the clarity about the tax structure. That's the most important thing. Uh, and recently also let's say uh, some some changes in the work law. But even if you break something, if you have a mistake, Georgian tax regime or Georgian legal system is not here to kill you in a one way or another. It's just there might be fines, which is absolutely bearable. But of course, if you do the things right, if you do your homework, if you consult with tax experts, and if you have common sense, there is very, very little chances that you break something. And even if you break something, you won't be killed immediately, right? So, and not killed at all. So this is the good side. So the Georgian legal system is on a human side. They pro entrepreneur side, and but we of course have some certain rules to comply, and if when these rules are being broken, there are fines and proceedings. So now about the hidden side. So most widespread mistakes is when they exceed this 500K gel, and they forgot that it's not anymore 1%, but it's 3. Or when they exceed this 500 in a second consecutive year, it's not anymore 3, but they lose the small business status and they're susceptible of paying 20%. The next widespread mistake is that when they exceed the VAT threshold, which appears even below 500K, but when you have trades with the domestic company. So, as I told you, VAT is been lifted when you traded most of the services with foreigners. When you export, services are goods, but this is always the case for trading in for the Georgian company. So let's imagine you came here, you live here, you have the individual entrepreneur, and you work for the Georgian company. In this case, the threshold of untaxed 1% untaxed profit is 100K because everything which you sell within the territory of Georgia uh, is being VAT taxed after 100K lari. So 100 is lari. So that's also the third most widespread mistakes. And then there is this is solely about the sole proprietorship. And then there is also um, the mistake which many founders, directors of LLC make. They can't start operations without the work permit for the as being the director, being non-resident director of the LLC. So they need to obtain this work permit, and that's sometime something that many directors of companies make mistakes. I would say these are these 3, 4 major mistakes, but none of them are vital. They either be fined, either can be simply warned that they shouldn't behave so, and then they fix it. They are good to proceed their working as it is.
Well, thank you for sharing. For any entrepreneur, it's good to know what the mistakes are, what the common mistakes are, so that they can avoid it in future.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's extremely valuable information for all of us, I believe. So finally, to sum it up, if you had to summarize everything that we just talked about just in few sentences, what would you say to someone who is considering Georgia as their business destination right now? What would be your final message to them or final advice?
Absolutely. So, if you are a freelancer, digital nomad, or if you operate the small, medium, or large companies, Georgia is either very attractive destination for you to relocate completely or relocate the part of your business and do business and diversify and this way optimize taxes. Georgia has uh, unique combination of onshore status, lowest taxes in the world, and other social benefits, which is important to use if you consider it as your home or your second home. But if you don't consider it as a home, Georgia provides immediate and fantastic tax saving offers and doing business 100% remotely. And finally, the people for people who want to live here, Georgia has quite close European culture, language, uh, habits, and climate-wise, it's very friendly, very warm, which is also can be said about the people, very hospitable and very welcoming. So, welcome to Georgia. I know that the problem of capital exodus, which now happens everywhere, starting from US and then Europe, CIS countries, Russia, or Middle East, it's here. The taxes are killing the businesses, and Georgia is the different. We are pro-business, we are pro-entrepreneur, our country offers human approach to both taxation and doing business. So I would really recommend going to Georgia and considering as the primary or at least secondary destination of doing business.
Thank you so much, Georgi. That was incredibly insightful, and I'm sure that everyone here found it extremely valuable. So thank you so much for your time, for the expertise that you so willingly shared with everyone here today. It's been a pleasure to having you. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Svetlana, of having me. It was my pleasure. And yeah, happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so before we wrap it up, I have a small surprise for those of you who are interested in some investment opportunities. I prepared several investment offers for you. So if you're looking to put your money to work in Georgia, this is something that you definitely won't want to miss. So let me just quickly share the presentation. Just give me 1 second. And I will show you what are the options that we are currently having in the market. All right, I hope that you can see the screen. So the investment offer that I will share with you today is located in Batumi. It's one of the residencies that is currently under construction. Let me quickly go over the details. There are 1,500 premium class investment apartments that will be built in this project. The location is amazing. It's only 350 meters to the sea. And there is a hotel management company, so you can be sure that the money that you invest is going to turn into income. There is multifunctional infrastructure in the project, and all apartments have balconies with either sea or city view. Here you can see the location of this residence. As I already mentioned, it's only 300 meters away from the sea, and it's within a walking distance to the city's key destination. So as I already mentioned, it is a rare find in Batumi at the moment. Couple of more words about services and infrastructure. You will have it all. It's a reception, room service, cleaning service, technical service. Of course, there are restaurants on site, spa, fitness center, indoor, outdoor parking, playground for children. There is a huge Olympic standard swimming pool that is located between the 2 blocks. And there is event hall. Here is the 3D visualization of the swimming pool and the area. So what we have here, different types of apartments, from studio apartments, which are from 33 square meters, to spacious 2-bedroom apartments, 93 square meters. And the price for square meter in general is $1,800 per square meter. But we have something very special for you today, for those of you who joined our webinar. So the first offer that we have is for a Block A, which is going to be 5-star apart hotel. The completion of this block is scheduled for December 2027, but there is 8 months grace period. So we're talking about August 2028. The construction is already ongoing, and the price for the black frame is $28,500 only. So this is a studio apartment, 35 square meters. This price applies for 100% payment only. And if you like to have a turnkey option, the upgrade is possible. In that case, the price will be $46,000 only, including all the furniture and white goods in the block that will be used as an apart hotel. So this is an amazing opportunity for those of you who are looking to invest in order to get income from rental. Also, we can discuss different types of rental guarantee. So if you're interested in this particular option, contact us today and we'll give you more details. For those of you who would like to have a payment plan option, we also have several apartments available in Block B, which will be completed in December 2028. Again, with grace period, we're talking about August 2029 latest. So here we have more spacious apartments, 62 square meters, and the price is $105,598. So here we have payment plan for 40 months. You're making the deposit, which is 30,000. This is the down payment, so it's around $32,000. And then you're making 40 payments, $850 each. And the final payment on getting the keys is about 40,000. For those of you who is ready to pay 100% straight away, there is extra 15% discount. And an even bigger option, 76 square meters. The price is $114,000. The same logic applies here. There is 30% down payment, and afterwards 40 monthly payments, $850 each, and the remaining balance is covered when you get the keys. Again, with 100% payment option, you can get 15% discount. So these are our hot offers for this week. So if you are interested in any of them, please contact us today and we will give you more details. So that concludes our presentation for today. I hope that you found our today's webinar interesting and quite useful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and we will give you more details either about the investment opportunities in Georgia or registering a business in Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to having you all here. Have a wonderful day and hope to see you all soon at our next